Why, hello there. I am coming to you from, my hole. If you can even see this. If you're on a phone, I bet you can't see this. If you're in a dark room on a computer, maybe you're able to actually see what's going on here. But I've just come back after being away from my computer for a couple days. And, I recently had to restart the server to let Super Taiwan come on, because, I don't know, the server is being weird. And yes, this is how he repays me, by putting me in a box of stone here, which is beneath my floor, predictably. Anyways, hey everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome back to another episode of Cool Craft Season 5. Fuck. I may or may not be a little bit rusty here. And, wait, is my grave... Where the heck? Man, things just are not going all that well right now. Anyhow, yes, welcome back to another episode of Cool Craft. My intro has been brilliantly disrupted twice now by first a prank and then me dying. In the last episode, I built this gigantic platform here, as well as this chunk loading grid beneath it, which I somehow spent all episode doing. In this episode, we are going to build up what's actually on top of this platform, which is contained within this giant schematic here. Also, I still have the Christmas chest, despite it decidedly being the 1st of January. Then without further ado, let's actually get into a time-lapse of me actually building this, then. Now, allow me to explain. So, we'll start over here with where actual storage happens. So, each of these slices here is a shulker box loading system, which corresponds to the output of one singular farm. For instance, this one here is going to correlate to my iron farm. And we got my gold farm, my bartering farm, so on and so forth. It just so happens that most of these have currently reside in the nether or are going to be transported through the nether. So, yeah. Now, talking about transportation, we're going to talk about how the input system works, which is basically what this whole area is over here. So, minecarts full of farm output will come in here and get stopped by this fence gate here. Once on this fence gate, the first item in that minecart will be sucked out and passed across all these item filters here, which will detect which is used to detect what is actually being carried in this minecart. Once this filtering system decides what the minecart contains, it will then tell the appropriate module to switch the minecart in there. The minecart is then released from its holding position and will drive down here where the switches will direct it to the right place. Once it gets to the right place, the minecart will be popped here. The minecart itself will be sent back down this chute here. Chute here over to there, while the items will be dropped down into this little holding section where they will pass over these filters, eventually being collected. For singular item farms, we generally have 3 collectors because you need at least 3 of them to collect an entire shulker box worth of items before they despawn. Now, once the minecarts have been popped, they will be brought back here into these chests, which will store the excess minecarts of the system. Additionally, the item from before that told the minecart where to go will come up here and be loaded into a new minecart to be returned to the farm that it came from. All this transportation will be done through this network right here, which this is the very end point of the network. This is the part of the network that goes into the storage system. This is a system of minecart tracks which will stretch all across the overworld and some stuff in the nether as well to get to whatever farm is necessary. So starting down here, this is where all the overworld farms will actually have their inputs come into this storage system. Specifically on this track right here. Minecarts will simply come up here, straight into there. However, we also have this switching component here, which can switch items to and from this section up here. This is the portal that will transport minecarts to and from the roof of the nether, which is going to be an important way for transporting items, especially ones that originated in the nether, but also ones that originated super far away in the overworld that I don't want to take forever to build a long track out to. As it stands, the only farm that's currently going to benefit from the overworld side of things is the iron farm, which is by my starter base. And yeah, that's pretty far away from here, so this is, as is, going to take a while to build. Now, let's take a little bit more of an in-depth look at how these modules here for overworld travel actually work. So, to start with, there is a chunk loader at the very center of each of the chunk where each of these resides. This is obviously so that I don't have to be riding a minecart and can be AFKing at a farm. These chunk loaders are then triggered by the block sections of the track that run parallel to them in each direction. Additionally, to prevent minecarts from getting bunched up, hopefully, although we'll probably have some issues with the nether and stuff, at the end of each block section can hold a minecart if the next block section is actually full. So while this block section is activated, which would mean there's a minecart either traveling through this block or sitting right here waiting for the next block to be full, the chunk loaders will be activated by this system down here. It will also prevent another minecart from entering this block until the minecart that's here has left this block. Now, because of how chunk loaders work, or nether portal chunk loaders work, the entity load a 3x3 area chunk with the nether portal in the center chunk. We have to load each consecutive chunk in the chain and make sure that the next, and because we send items through portals, of course, we have to make sure the next chunk is ready and already being loaded before the minecart even gets there. So we have this system in the center here. First of all, send the redstone signal onto the closer line here, which will of course spread for its max distance in each direction. But we then have a set of repeaters on each chunk border here that spreads it into the middle line here, which will basically double the range in each direction of this redstone line, activating the chunk before and after of the chunk loaders to make sure everything runs smoothly. Of course, that is just the overworld travel. We also have nether travel, and the way this section here will work is that once a minecart gets switched off here, it will come up here and go through this portal. Right before it does go through the portal, it will trigger this system down here to turn the chunk loaders along this section here off. Likewise, when a minecart comes through the portal and back into the overworld, it will also turn this chunk loading system below on. Now, the switching system here works in a slightly similar way to the final switching system for the actual storage, in that the minecart starts to wait here. One item will be sucked out of the minecart and will be passed through these hoppers here. Now, if any of these hoppers gets a hit, it will then tell the switch here to send the minecart in that direction. However, if no item gets filtered out, it will not switch this track unless the minecart will continue forwards. However, the minecart will only continue after that item is put back into the minecart, so the next switch or whatever down the line can use that information to route it to the right place. Hopefully that was a good explanation of how this whole system works. It is a bit complicated, but it's also very, very large. As you can tell, this is only going to be a small bit, as we actually have to now build all the tracks that go from here to my starter base, which is actually on the complete opposite side of 00 from here, so that's going to be a pretty long project. Alright, so the first thing you might just notice here is that, oh, my chests are back to normal. And that is because I have gotten a new GPU, as you can see here. A video for that stuff is coming soon. I gotta untangle this video clips from the clips of this video. That's gonna be great. Anyhow, more importantly, like, I have purchased a whole bunch of shulker shells off JRD Cool here, so we can now start actually filling up the loaders here. Or the shulker loaders, so let's get doing that. Alright. All the shulker boxes for the shulker loaders have been put in, and that was a lot of shulker boxes. Because, like, I bought 3 shulker boxes of shulker shells from JRD Cool, and this is how many I have left. That is, and plus, I guess, some of these boxes. But, like, that's a lot. That is a lot of shulkers just to fill up these. Anyhow, before we get building the massive rail network, or I guess just rail line that goes all the way off that way and then all the way off to my base there, I should probably go and put in the nether side for these chunk loaders here. So yeah, guess gotta do that. Alright, chunk loaders have been installed for the currently existing stuff. Apparently I forgot to put in a minecart there, because yeah, I actually realized that I had to redesign these the chunk loaders that go horizontally, because I never tested them and they apparently did not work, like, at all, and apparently the minecart is missing that one. So yeah, I gotta go back and do that now. Like, but in addition to, you know, this area and the overworld like this, I also had to redesign this side on the nether. Like, the overall design was prompted by the design on the nether. Sorry about the clicking. So yeah, it turns out that they have to be spaced 1 block apart like this, and so a 2-wide portal can't work. So yeah, I had to use that data pack that we have on the server that allows for 1-wide nether portals. I also had to redesign these systems so the droppers would actually drop stuff and blah blah blah. Anyhow, it's all in. Let's actually get building the very, very long line now. That's gonna take like a month. Jeez. Alright, so first things first, audio changed, as you can tell. Guess why? If you watched the last video, you'll probably understand. But more importantly, it's been a couple weeks since the last clip I recorded, and I haven't really done all that much on this project because I just really haven't been motivated to. There's like 4,000 blocks I have to cover in this very annoying to build and repetitive pattern, and I just can't seem to get myself to do it. So annoyingly, I'm for now going to have to abandon this project, but what I am thinking I am going to do is get a mod that will like take control of my account and just build the schematics for me, which will most people would probably consider cheating, but hell, it's my server, I can do what the fuck I want. I will bleep that, hopefully. You better bleep that, future me. So that basically is where this episode is gonna end. Sorry if you were expecting a bit more, and this is very disappointing, but I have some other projects and ideas that I want to actually get onto doing, and this is just going to take so long. So this will continue in the background. We will eventually come back to this, but for now, I'm going to have to say thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Checked out my game, which I actually released an update for. Hey, just linked in the description, and I will see you all in the next episode of Coolcraft Season 5. Bye!